Coming in at number 87 with 64 points. We got to say nice things about him or he's going to come kick our ass. It's Taz. And I absolutely adore Taz. Uh, my introduction to Taz is actually from whenever he was the announcer for SmackDown in the early 2000s. So that was my introduction to Taz. That's the Taz that I know. But he also is one of the foundations of ECW. And, you can't have ECW without Taz. He's one of the legends, and having the FTW belt and just his style with the human suplex machine. Also, like, of note, he had an incredible podcast that I loved back in the day. No longer doing it, but now he had a little bit of a run as a manager in recent years in AEW with Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks, and that was Team Taz. And then now he is switched over to commentary. But yeah, I absolutely love Taz. And what do you guys got for Taz?
I mean, not the biggest guy in the world, but he's somebody that maximized his skill set and really created an awesome character around that was just vicious. The Bam Bam match at Heat Wave, I believe that was '98, is on Peacock. That's an unbelievable match to go check out. But I mean, he was a real wrestler. I mean, he's got a heck of a lot of talent. He's very strong. He understands leverage, which I think is something that is a little overlooked in the fact that he's always talking about leverage in footwork. I mean, that's something that I really appreciate as a fan, whether or not that's real or whether he's just trying to make it real. That's something that I appreciate. I mean, look, the guy just was vicious, man. Always. He was always presented really well in ECW. He came over to the land of the Giants there during the acquisition and didn't do too well there in the ring. How he was showcased, but unbelievable career as a commentator, man. And hats off to him for that.
It should be stated with Taz, the thing that stands out to me the most with him, actually, let me preface it with can't get off this entrance music thing. Survive if I let you is great. It is great, man. But what's insane about you bringing up that WWE run, let us not forget that undefeated Kurt Angle was squashed by Taz in his debut. And how that sputtered out, I don't know. I'm sure that there's a story somewhere that's associated with it. But that was how big of a deal he was coming into that company from ECW. Dude not only beat their undefeated up and comer, he put it on him, man. I mean, that was a squizosh. And that was an incredible debut. And the fact that he sort of sputtered out after that's a real shame, because there's not very the acquisition jumping ship time. Not a lot of people came in with that kind of shine, and he did. But my God, do you want to talk about somebody that just brings a smile to my face all the time? Him and Tony Schiavone, especially, but with Excalibur too. You want to talk about people that you listen to them doing commentary that sound like they actually really love what they're doing. That's it. And I love that, man. My favorite matches are people that I know, even if they're killing each other, that I know are like buds, right? So they're killing each other because it's like, yo, give me what you got, man. And my favorite commentators are, of all time, my favorite team is Heenan and Monsoon, and then Monsoon and Ventura, because here, and even Ventura and are able to play off of that and play off of each other. I love the way that Taz can pop Schiavone and then vice versa. Insipid Taz commentary from Botchamania is my favorite segment every week. Somebody should play that. It's Taz right now. You should splice that into the YouTube thing here, John, so that the folks can see it. Matthew, you're a beast for that. So yeah, good on you, Taz. I'm happy you're on the list.
Weighing 248 pounds,
Yeah, and Taz was an ECW World Heavyweight Championship, FTW World Heavyweight Champion, the ECW Television Championship, and he was Hardcore Champion 3 times, and he was Tag Team Champion with Spike, and uh, and that really does suck about what happened with Taz in WWE because he came out, he squashed clean as a sheet, killed Kurt Angle in that Royal Rumble, and the only reason that it got killed was because word got round from the boys back to Vince that he was a not a safe worker. And then that they ran amok with it. And that's basically what happened to Taz. That's why he got instantly cut off at the knees right away. So which really sucks because I feel like another thing about Taz too is that like he didn't feel like he was awesome, but like he always felt like a guy that like Vince probably wouldn't know what to do with. I don't know if that's based off size or not, but whenever he came in, like around that 2000s mark, I think he came in '99, so like he was right in the wave of whenever like the Radicals were in there and with Benoit and Eddie and Malenko and Saturn and all them. So he was in the mix with all of that going on. So it just really sucks that he got cut off, but he ended up making a hell of a career out of it in the commentator role.
Yeah, I think him and Ishii are pretty similar guys in some respects, and that's a hell of a group to be compared to. You know, those two guys compared to each other. So I think that's kind of who they are, man. You know, smaller guys that were able to just maximize their own skill set and just be presented and present themselves like they were bigger than life, and that it's not an easy feat to do that.
That's that's actually a perfect comparison is him and Ishii because you think of Ishii as being like 6'4", 948 pounds, and the dude is 5'3", like a buck 89. You know, but just the way that he can stand in there and take heat and give it, yeah, that's good job, Andretti. That's you hit the nail on the head.
So Taz, I had to go back and learn a little bit more about this. I know Taz from commentary mostly, and I've tried to go back and watch some ECW. I haven't gotten as far into it, being a new fan, but um, he's another one of those guys that just like absolutely has this aura and mystique about him, as far as being a wrestler and the intensity with which he works and the respect that he has garnered wherever he's been. And I was looking through his list of accomplishments today, and apparently tapping out in wrestling is something that he brought in after his neck injury, according to our sources. So that's, I mean, right there, that's an innovation alone. We expect that now. It's not just a pass out. You want to see somebody give up. Um, and then he had some, big time feuds: Shane Douglas, Sabu, um, all the main players in ECW. And unfortunately, he didn't get that great of a shake when it came to WWE. I think he was just in the wrong era. Um, and that's very unfortunate. He came in uh, and just kind of got squashed. But um, yeah, legit tough guy in the ring. So definitely.